I've been writing music since I was 8 years old. That's really when I started sharing my music.
Right before our show, our bassist dropped out, and I was only playing piano, and we needed a bassist really fast. So Finn taught me the basics of bass, and we just went on from there.
We all at one point were in a band, all 5 kids, but we really don't talk about that.
I feel like if we weren't sisters, I feel like I wouldn't be in a band. I feel like I wouldn't be here, like, doing this.
Finn and I sort of dabbled in the acoustic realm, and then the 3 of us were just like, screw it, we work best together.
It's a lot of fun, a lot more chemistry, because we all know what each other, like, what we want.
We've all been playing together for about 7 months or so.
We connect on a different level than anyone else I've ever met, really. They always know what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. They understand everything, because we've grown up together.
I think it's really cool that we're able to write songs together.
So do we annoy each other? I'd say yes, a lot. We do. But at the end of the day, we all realize, oh, we're sisters. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to annoy each other and make each other angry, just to make us better.
Being a drummer in general, I'd just say, aside from being a female, in the scene that we're in, it's definitely difficult. There's a lot of heavy, hard-hitting, technically advanced drummers that I've definitely seen. And then now bringing back the female aspect of it, that's just a whole nother brick on the load of everything. And I think a lot of people, not necessarily from our scene or anything, but a lot of people in general always put girls into sort of a box and stereotype them as, oh, cute, you guys play music, you girls, you hit well, you play the drums well for a girl. And that's always a struggle, but I mean, in the scene that we all play in, it's so accepting and it's beautiful and wonderful, and everyone who comes off stage and everyone who comes up and talks to me all the compliments are just very accepting. All the male drummers, it's always, wow, you hit really hard, you play super well, they see eye to eye, female or not.
It's super important for me to support other women and younger female artists, and males for that matter, but when I was, I think about 11 or 12, the other day I was reminded, I remember so well, I was in my room and I was living in Hawaii on an island with no TV and no radio, and I read in a Rolling Stone magazine, I'm pretty sure it was Rolling Stone, Courtney Love said, I want every girl to pick up the guitar and scream. And when I read that, I totally believed every word that she was saying, that was true and that I could totally make a living doing music. So I feel like it's my duty, not only as an artist because of all the experience I have, but to let other women and girls know that you can do it and you don't need a record company, you don't need a man, you don't need any validation to do it. You just have to have the work ethic and the heart to follow whatever path that is that you want to do.
The ideas come from me just like being alone, just looking inside myself and finding things that I don't like about myself and things like that and writing about them. And I'd say it makes me feel better, but it's just a way to express my feelings.
My sister Finola writes sad and depressing music. I never thought that she had this all balled up and she's just writing it and making great songs out of it.
Usually our songs start out with, so I write the songs, and they usually start out with just a cool riff, a cool chord that I play. And I kind of just build on that. I get like the instrumental part down first. I like the lyrics are the least of my worry in the beginning. So and then I decide, well, do I want all bass in this song? Do I want all keyboards? I mean, it's a big decision because do you want like that little extra high end of the keyboards, or do I want that low hit of the bass? And I figured that out, and then I just kind of roll with it. I add the lyrics, like I just wing the lyrics at first, and they start to build. And then Juliana really directs the song. She orchestrates the song. She decides what goes where, what we need in different parts, you know, if we need a little oomph there, or like if we need to be softer here. She decides all of those things, really. But all together we work in harmony.
We can construct our songs differently, so it's easier from like switching off from piano to bass easily, so I'm not getting confused and not getting worked up about my parts.
The girls' songwriting was actually one of the first things that caught my attention when I first saw them, along with Finn's voice, and just the dynamic between the sisters on stage is so cool. I know I couldn't get along with my siblings enough to be in a band with them, so that's super cool that they're just killing it, like I say, on stage, and just every single part is thought out, with the lights on stage and everything. The lyrics, at first, live, sometimes it's hard to hear specifically what the words are, but with the recording process, I understood the lyrics even more thoroughly and was like, man, like, this is coming out of someone who's 14. Like, these lyrics are so deep and well thought out and well worded, and there's so much depth to that, which is also very rare and special.
We never really thought of having a keyboard track, only because I feel like everything would be very like scripted for some reason, you know, like playing. And I really liked Edmee when she jumped on the keyboards, and she really brought out what she had to do on the keyboards. And I think live it's so much better, you know, watching her, everyone watching her play. And so that's why we were like, okay, so no track. And we said we'll just figure it out by obviously making my guitar with a lower sound, a deeper sound, and so that we can get both sides, you know, keyboard and the low end at the same time.
I'd say lighting and mood for any band that is important, you know, to get across the mood and the tone of what that artist or band wants to portray out to everybody. As far as, you know, lighting goes for us and how I started out a year or two ago maybe, just sort of dabbling, and my brother over in Company One, he just needed that extra step for his band to sort of push out what they wanted to do, so I started doing some lights, and we ended up getting our own sort of mini rig to take around with us. And we're like, wow, that really works. That really clicks. Lights, wow, that adds to everything. And then when Circus Trees started playing out and we got up on stage, we were sort of stuck doing our first few shows with not having any lighting schemes or anything for lights really planned out at all. And then over the next few months, we went and supporting out. We went and saw bands like Geary and artists like Julian Baker, and we noticed that they were using sort of like orangey, glowy, yellow lights to really just captivate everybody to look towards the stage and see the artists and just hone in on everything that's happening. It added a whole new level and tone to everything happening. So we decided to get some of these lights, like the ones behind me, in the cages, the orangey glowing lights, And so we ended up setting those up on stage in various locations, you know, hanging it over the drum kit, hanging it off the keyboards, hanging it off Finn's microphone. And throughout the set, I end up getting up and sort of slowly clicking on a couple lights here and there. After each song, clicking on a few more lights. And we decided that that just set the mood for everything. And so I think that's very important.
Most of my friends don't know I'm in a band. They don't know I live this second life. They don't know that I get home at like 2 a.m. almost every night. I think only some of my best friends know. I think it's kind of cool, kind of weird though. They always want to buy merch, but they always can't come out to shows because of their parents. Like we're at bars until like 2 o'clock in the morning and they just can't do that before on a school night. And like sometimes my friends complain, oh, I couldn't get to sleep until like 12 last night. And I'd say, oh, I didn't get home until 2.
Often when I walk in, or even before I walk in, I get really nervous, you know. We are just little kids, you know. We're not grown-ups, we're not like everyone else. So it's nerve-wracking, you know. But when we get in, you know, we see everyone and they're so professional and everything, and I'm just like, oh God. And I see everyone else like bobbing their head or just tapping along or anything. It makes me feel better. It's like a weight comes off my shoulder.
I first met and saw Circus Trees when I played a show with them at the Raven with Carissa Johnson, and she had mentioned that Robert and 5x2 and Circus Trees had been wanting to do a show with her, and that we're gonna work it out to do a show with them for one of the dates on our tour. And when I saw them, I was completely blown away and just so touched and like moved by not only their presence and the music that was coming out of them, you know, aside from the fact of how old they are. I've worked with younger artists before, but it's like when you hear the music, the age thing, it's like irrelevant. So I was just blown away by the performance. And as soon as they were done, me and Carissa had actually started talking about doing single projects with bands and artists where I produce and record and mix a single and she does the art, and I was like, oh my God, just flipping out. I was like, we have to talk to them, they're incredible.
I'd say what resonated most with me about Circus Trees' performance was just how much they were into the performance and how much they were engulfing the whole crowd in what they believed in. And then everyone was on the same page. And it was just this whole room of people that had just been talking that were just like quickly silenced and were like, what?
When we first get up on stage and we're first loading equipment onto the stage, there's a lot of people who are always, oh, cute, those girls are gonna get up on stage now, cute, we're gonna hear some nice little piano sort of jingling, you know, cute.
But then once we kick into like heavy part, play depressing, sad songs, no one expects it, but once we like first kick into it, everyone gets really excited and it grabs everyone's attention.
And then when we play our set and we get off stage and we've set that tone of this is what we play and we're not just cute little girls up on stage, the reaction and the interactions of people coming up to us and complimenting us and, you know, telling us, oh, you guys did great, you know, it's awesome.
So when we get off stage, they all come up and they're like, oh my God, you were amazing. And I'm like, thank you so much.
It's a lot different from their first thoughts in their heads. A great example would be our last show that we played up in New Hampshire at the Bungalow. We played with a band or an artist. Her name was Hannah, and then her friend Nathan from Formerly Bodies. We talked to her after our set. She came right up to us and she was like, oh, you know, I didn't know what I was expecting. I saw you girls getting up on stage. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I don't really know what to expect. And then afterwards, after we played our set, she was like, you girls just blew me away. That expectation of young girls playing cutesy sort of pop music just went right out the window, and that was a really cool feeling.
I can see people's faces and their reactions as we continue to play, and it makes me feel better. When people are bobbing their head or whatever, because it makes me think that they actually like us.
Honestly, I am so stoked that Circus Trees are here and are a band and are doing it and killing it. The first time I saw them, they wrote me right in, and I got so excited because it's cool to have been playing for so long in the Boston scene, and to have been playing just everywhere and seeing so many different kinds of music and bands and meeting so many people. Very rarely do I feel like very drawn in by one band particularly, and I remember them for a very long time. And Circus Trees is one of those bands where I'm like, they're going to be remembered by a lot more people than just me, and they're going to do something big. So it's super inspiring and super cool to see that all happening.
When we get off stage, people don't usually talk to me because Jules is 16, Finn's 13, and I'm 12. And since I'm so young, people don't want to feel like they're creeps and come up to me and talk. So they usually talk to the drummer or the singer. It's funny, like after a show, we'll all sit down and talk about what people said. And like Jules will say, oh, this person walked up to me and said this. I'll say, well, no one talked to me tonight.
So some of the main spots that we play at and sort of our main venues that we really enjoy playing at are over in Worcester at the Raven, down in Providence at Alchemy, definitely up in New Hampshire at the Bungalow, and Uncharted and Lowell. Those are some of our favorite spots. As far as like bands we love playing with and bands that we play with sort of regularly, we play a lot with our brother bands on the label, you know, Aaron and Randy from Pillbook, our older brother and his friends from Company One. But I mean, further expanding past them and past label bands, we love going out and just, even if we're not playing, going and seeing harder shows, sort of acoustic shows. We love seeing bands like Lucis. We love seeing, you know, artists like Vanessa, Silberman, Carissa Johnson, bands like Flight of Fire, you know, sort of artists on the lighter side, you know, Hannah and Nathan, formerly Bodies, all that kind of stuff.
Their maturity in the sophistication of their playing and songwriting, because it's not like it's not straightforward rock pop. It's really well thought out, mature songwriting, picking parts, timing. I mean, Finn's voice is incredible, and Jules is really thoughtful with her drum parts, just super sophisticated and tasteful. And Edmi is like, I mean, she's going from bass to keys. It's like, just, I don't know, the whole package. And they're really beautiful performers, and they're beautiful and really sweet people.
In school, I like to think I'm normal. I mean, I don't really share anything with anyone because I don't want them to think I'm a weirdo. You know, I listen to all this dark, depressing music while they're listening to like cool rap, and it's very, very different. And I don't show that side of myself at school. I don't think I have to. You know, as soon as I get home, I can be free, I can do whatever I want. And yes, at school, people have heard the music I listen to, and some of them like it, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet, but I know that some of them would look at me differently if I really shared what I was actually writing about and what I was actually doing. I could say really big artists inspire me, but I think the people who inspire me the most are the people around me, like Aaron from Pillbook and Owen from Company One. They all bring everything to the next level, and they make me want to continue writing, you know? It's like they're pushing the limits, and I just want to be as good as them, you know? I don't want to fall behind. So they really push me and help me out. I mean, they have such great technique and different skills, and that's what helps me a lot, you know, because I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, you did that. Now I have to do something better than that, you know, because I feel like we're just in a race, like with no finish line. We're just continuing and going, and it's great. I like to think when I write my songs and my lyrics that I'm not just writing them for myself or for someone else, that I'm writing them for everyone, you know? I'm speaking for a lot of different people, and especially my sisters, you know? I like to write, and I like to think of them when I'm writing, like what they're going through and everything they're doing, so that I can really take into consideration, you know, that it's not just my song, it's their song too, and they should be able to express their feelings just as much as I can.
As of right now, for Circus Trees, I can't say for definite where we're gonna be in the future. I'd obviously love to, you know, tour out and go far and push the limits as to where Circus Trees can go and where Circus Trees can be, you know, as far as like age and gender and being young females in music. I'd love to just push the stereotypes and push the borders, and 100%, you know, going in and recording with Vanessa Silberman and Carissa Johnson. That's extraordinary. It's just a one-of-a-kind thing to say, and to be able to go in and record with them and learn from them and watch them and see their experiences in the music scene is something that's gonna help us go even farther someday. But I mean, not being able to see the future, as long as I just get to continue writing with my sisters and creating this music and this vibe, I don't really care where we end up, whether we end up on a big stage or a small stage.
I hope that people hear it and are blown away, because these girls deserve it and they're incredible, and I hope that the recording captured how great they are live and just as artists.
I really hope that young girls can take away from what I do and what Vanessa does as some sort of inspiration to just do anything they want to do and feel the freedom that they can do anything they want to do, and not be held back by anything or what other people might say or, you know, anyone else's intentions for them, because really it comes out of here, and if you have it, you have it, and if there's something that you gotta give, and you know, it's just inspiring to see anybody go for their dreams and to not be held back by, you know, the obstacles that we all face in doing that. So I just hope every girl or anyone watching this can understand that you can just do it and you don't have to be held back. It's all in here too, and you know, you can't be held back by the fear of it, and yeah, anything's possible.
The song Impermanence, when I was writing it, there was a part of myself that I didn't like, that I didn't want to have, you know. So I thought, you know, like, I need to change, you know. I need to like throw that part of myself away, and I feel like a lot of people feel like that sometimes. So the song is really about a part of myself kind of decaying and dying, so that I can move on and move forward. So like, bring me to death. That's really what I'm trying to say, is like, I need to change, you know, like bring that part of myself away so that I can move forward and move on with my life. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that, so hopefully hopefully a lot of people feel like that. It's not just me. Hi, my name is Finn.
My name's Edmi.
Hello, I'm Jules.
I'm from Circus Trees.
I'm in the band Circus Trees.
I'm the drummer for Circus Trees.
And this is
Impermanence.
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 my body